Good morning, crypto enthusiasts. While you were sleeping, the market made its choice. And that choice, unfortunately for many holders, was brutal. If you hold XRP, your palms are probably sweating right now. We are at a bifurcation point. The Clarity Act, two words that can either turn your portfolio into a fortune or leave your hopes shattered for another year. In this video, we aren't just reading the news. We are digging deeper than 90% of other channels. The hidden threats. Who exactly in the Senate is trying to sabotage the bill at the last minute? Technical deep dive. Why is holding the 1.4 level right now more important than hitting 3.84 later? The black swan scenario. What if the law passes, but with amendments that kill DeFi on XRP? Exclusive data? How have the whales behaved in the last 24 hours? We have on-chain data you cannot ignore. Turn on notifications if you haven't already. Let's go. Part 1. Anatomy of the Clarity Act, why it's not just another bill. Many people think the Clarity Act is just a piece of paper that says XRP is not a security, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. Let's look under the hood at the parts the mainstream media ignores. The Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, or HR 3633 in the House, essentially rewrites the financial rules of the 1930s. Right now, U.S. banks are paralyzed by Rule SAB 121, which requires them to hold 100% reserves against client crypto assets. It makes the business unprofitable. The Clarity Act repeals this requirement. Imagine this. JP Morgan or Wells Fargo could offer XRP to clients directly in their banking apps, just like they offer Apple stock. This isn't just liquidity, it's legitimization. If this passes, XRP becomes the first asset after Bitcoin to get a golden ticket into the major leagues of finance. But there is a catch. The bill contains controversial text regarding stablecoins. If RLUSD doesn't qualify for exemptions, the whole Ripple ecosystem could end up half legal. This is exactly what they are fighting over in committee right now. Part 2. The political thriller who has their finger on the trigger. Let's get back to the odds. Polymarket gives us a dry 54-55% chance. But what's happening behind the curtains? In the last 48 hours, the situation has heated up. An anti-crypto coalition has formed in the Senate, led by the old guard of Democrats. Their argument? The Clarity Act opens the door for money laundering via DeFi. On the other side, the Trump administration is pushing for speed. Patrick Witt and Trump's team understand, if the U.S. doesn't set the rules now, crypto capital will permanently flee to Dubai and Singapore. Fresh insider intel. Sources in Washington report that there is a plan to attach the Clarity Act to a larger budget package in March. This is a double-edged sword. The pro, inside a massive package, it's easier to sneak the bill through without weeks of debate. The con, if the budget package gets blocked for other reasons, like national debt disputes, the Clarity Act goes down with the ship. Part 3. On-chain analysis, whale behavior, 24-hour data. While politicians argue, money is already voting. What are we seeing on the blockchain in the last 24 hours? Accumulation. Wallets holding between 10 million and 100 million XRP have increased their positions by 2.4%. This is a classic signal. Big players know or are betting that the news will be positive. Exchange outflows. We are tracking massive outflows of XRP from Binance and Coinbase into cold storage. When coins leave exchanges, they aren't being sold today. This reduces sell pressure. However, there is a red flag. Open interest on futures has spiked. This means the market is overheated with leverage. Any negative news could trigger a cascade of liquidations, flushing the price down rapidly, even if the long-term trend remains bullish. Part 4. Technical analysis, where to buy, where to run. Let's look at the chart through a trader's eyes. Right now, the price is 1.42. Critical support 1.38, 1.4. This is our line of defense. We tested it twice this week. If we close a daily candle below 1.38, the road to 1.2 opens up. The bears are waiting for exactly that. Breakout zone 1.55. This is local resistance. Once we break 1.55 and confirm it, the next stop is 1.85. There is almost no volume resistance in that gap. Price could fly through it in hours. Indicators. On the daily chart, we are seeing a falling wedge. This is a reversal pattern. Historically, it breaks to the upside 68% of the time. The RSI is in neutral territory, 45.50, which gives us plenty of room to grow before being overbought. Part 5. If the Clarity Act fails Plan B. We have to be realists. What if the bill gets killed? Aside from a price drop to 1, there is a deeper problem. If the Clarity Act fails in 2026, it means the SEC keeps its aggressive regulation by enforcement tactic. For Ripple, this means endless appeals. But there is a silver lining, the IPO. Brad Garlinghouse has hinted that Ripple could launch an IPO even without US clarity, but they would do it in London or Singapore. If the law fails, the narrative will instantly shift to an international IPO. This could save the price from a total crash, but it would be a different story, the story of Ripple leaving America. Part 6. Global context, macroeconomics. Don't forget, XRP doesn't live in a vacuum. Key inflation data comes out this week. If US inflation spikes again, the Fed might get hawkish. This would strengthen the dollar DXY and hammer all risk assets, crypto included. In that scenario, even if the Clarity Act passes, we might only get a short-lived pump that gets crushed by the broader market dump. So, watch the DXY index, not just Congress. Part 7. The domino effect, who loses if XRP wins. There is one aspect of the Clarity Act that people only whisper about. If this bill passes, XRP could become a predator, eating up market share from its competitors. Why? It's all about the regulatory moat. Picture this. The law passes. XRP officially gets the commodity stamp. Banks get the green light. But what about Ethereum? What about Solana? What about Cardano? They remain in the gray zone. For a bank, the choice becomes obvious. Work with XRP, where the risk of an SEC lawsuit is 0. Or work with ETH, SOL, where Gary Gensler, or his successor, could knock on the door at any moment. The threat to Ethereum. JP Morgan analysts have already hinted, if institutions get a legal, fast, and cheap tool for transactions TEM-RP, why would they use slow and expensive Ethereum? We could see a massive migration of liquidity from ETH DeFi protocols into the XRPL ecosystem, especially now that the EVM sidechain is live. Insider rumor. There are whispers that Ethereum lobbyists in Washington are quietly trying to slow down the Clarity Act to prevent XRP from gaining this unfair advantage. It is truly Game of Thrones in the crypto world. Part 8. Final forecast, strategy. Let's draw the line, February 8, 2026. We are not just looking at a price chart. We are witnessing the redrawing of the global financial map. We've discussed political intrigue, whale manipulation, macroeconomics, and even lobbyist warfare. The picture is complex, but the potential is massive. My strategy for next week? Twitter watch. Keywords, Senate Banking Committee and markup. News will break there faster than on Bloomberg. Levels. If we break 1.55, I'm adding to my position. If we drop below 1.38, I'm waiting to buy back at 1.25. No emotions, just numbers. Hedging. I keep a portion of my portfolio in Bitcoin. If the Clarity Act fails and XRP dips, Bitcoin balances the ship. The million-dollar question for you. If XRP becomes the only legal alternative to Bitcoin for banks, what is the price in 3 years? 5, 10. Or will we see triple digits like the crazy models predict? Drop your price prediction for 2026 in the comments. I'll pin the boldest or most accurate one. Hit that like button if you are waiting for the Clarity Act as much as I am. Subscribe so you don't miss the emergency live stream on voting day. Let's get to work.